On my days off, I become a different person. When I change my appearance, I can act as if I've adopted a completely different personality. By deliberately taking days to free myself from this not-so-great version of me, I've somehow managed to get through the workdays.
You really can't handle a job, can you?
That's what I was often told while hopping from one part-time job to another after dropping out of college. After being let go from a part-time job at Delhi at the age of 22, my parents pushed me into a driving school, and I managed to get my driver's license. Without a college degree, there are only so many places willing to hire me. Maybe they were worried about me becoming unemployed in the future, thinking I should at least have a basic driver's license. When I finally got my license, my parents told me I had to work to pay back the money it cost. It felt like unknowingly spending money on a supposedly free online game, being hit with a bill out of the blue. Maybe my parents feared I'd just laze around aimlessly as a temp worker and eventually lose all ambition. It's true, having a financial goal can motivate one to keep working. While I was working at a local bar and almost finished paying back my parents, an opportunity arose. A regular customer, who was the owner of a transportation company, approached me and offered me a full-time position. Mr. Smith, the company's CEO, was tolerant towards guys like me who had strayed from the conventional path in life. I was hired because of a chronic shortage of drivers, but I wonder if I'm truly cut out for this job. While handling various odd jobs, I underwent training as a driver. Being in a rural area, the company's dedicated parking lot, or truck yard, is vast. Mr. Smith told me it was a good place to practice, and whenever I found free time, I would hop onto one of the parked trucks. Even though it was a small truck that could be driven with a standard license, controlling a vehicle that weighs 2 tons was challenging. But Mr. Smith was always encouraging me, and my boss, Mr. Johnson, would find time to instruct me passionately. Gradually, I wanted to meet the expectations of them. At first, my colleague would sit in the passenger seat to help me get used to driving on public roads. Once they felt I was competent enough, I was tasked with deliveries on my own. I was thrilled, but also incredibly nervous. As anticipated, I made a series of mistakes, like taking the wrong route or misjudging the truck's width and grazing utility poles. Due to my shorter stature, I've been teased that it looks like a kid's driving a truck. I always make sure to greet everyone properly at work, but perhaps because of my insecurities about being a high school graduate and my appearance, I'm not good with social interactions. My colleagues seem to be favored by our clients, often invited to play in local baseball games or for drinks. I feel like I can't communicate as effectively. Considering my driving skills and interpersonal abilities, I worry about whether if I'm suitable for this truck driving job every day. Yet, Mr. Smith and my bosses never gave up on me. They would tell me that even if I make mistakes, I should gain experience and learn. I've never been in a workplace with such supportive relationships before. While our salaries might be lower compared to bigger companies, they even allowed me to get a forklift operating license on the company's dime. I felt their genuine concern beyond the regular employer-employee relationship. For the first time in my life, I felt a real urge to work hard and someday be an asset to the company. Our company's biggest client was a local supermarket chain that had been expanding to multiple locations in the area. We were responsible for their product deliveries and seemed to have built a solid relationship over the years. However, they decided to introduce an online grocery service, and a bigger transportation company came into the picture, taking over our spot. That company is larger than ours and can provide more drivers, so they won the client over. It was deemed more convenient to have the same transport company handle both online deliveries and regular product shipments. Can't believe we got cut off like that. Even though we believed we had established trust, loyalty, and goodwill with this major client, they chose to move on. Mr. Smith was devastated. Losing such a significant client, who kept us busy daily, could push our company towards bankruptcy. I was primarily responsible for delivering to that supermarket's main branch. The route only required me to drive on the main roads, so even someone with poor driving skills like me found it hard to make mistakes. I often wondered if I had been better at communicating, and if the manager had liked me more, maybe I wouldn't have lost the contract. A few weeks later, an advertisement about a new candy launch event at that supermarket came in the newspaper. Looking at the flamboyant advertisement made me feel bitter. The CEO, Mr. Smith, along with my colleagues who usually act as drivers for the supermarket, were out trying to get new clients. Not being fit for sales, I was left in the office, covering for a sick receptionist. My sense of self-loathing, feeling useless, made me even more frustrated. Then, a call came into the office. It was from the manager of that supermarket's main branch. They inquired if our company could secure a new product that hadn't been delivered due to an error by the transport company. The mid-sized transport company that took our client might be professional as a courier, but they didn't seem to know much about food logistics. Apparently, there was an ordering mistake due to poor coordination with their supplier. I quickly contacted Mr. Smith to report the situation. Following his instructions, my colleagues and I started contacting possible wholesalers to secure the product. What should I do in a situation like this? Checking the advertisement, I realized the event was about to start. I quickly changed and headed to the location on my scooter that I use for commuting. It was embarrassing when people laughed and pointed at my outfit as I passed by, but I had no time to care about that. When I arrived, the shelves designated for the event were still empty. Many families with children were shopping, and kids were flocking around the staff handing out balloons. It seemed many were eagerly awaiting the launch of the candy that came with toys from a popular cartoon, leading to a rush after seeing the advertisement. Voices of dissatisfaction were everywhere, and the situation was getting out of hand. I approached one of the staff distributing balloons and asked if I could perform to divert attention. Given the circumstances, the staff member gladly agreed. Dressed as a clown and wearing a mask, I began to juggle, attracting the children's attention. Yes, to always be prepared for any client outings, I had learned tricks like juggling. However, being introverted, I have never had such opportunities. Feeling unfulfilled, I once participated in a street performers festival on a dare. That was about 2 years ago. The applause I received back then was unforgettable, and since then, I've been attending such events whenever I get the chance. Wanting to keep this a secret from my family, I stored my costumes and props in my locker at work. Seeing the children's joy, I showcased a few juggling tricks and then used balloon art to buy more time. Believing that Mr. Smith and my colleagues would surely deliver the product, I spotted Mr. Smith in our company uniform carrying boxes, and I felt relieved from the bottom of my heart. Kids quickly lose interest and move on to the next thing. Once the products were on the shelves, they all rushed over and formed a line. Having served my purpose as the clown, I headed to the back to greet Mr. Smith and the store manager. As I approached them after removing my mask, I heard them discussing seriously and decided not to interrupt.
Thank you so much. Ever since we switched to that transport company, we've had so many delivery issues. Today made me realize once again that we're better off with your company. Can we contract with you again?
Hearing the manager's words, I saw a glimmer of hope. Mr. Smith seemed to feel the same, repeatedly shaking hands in gratitude. It looked like they would sign with our company again. Relieved that our company would avoid bankruptcy, I overheard.
Thank you very much.
His robust voice echoed in the back.
But please keep that guy off our account. He's so gloomy and talks so softly. And didn't he drop out of college?
My world went dark. It was a fact, so I can't blame them. No matter how much I try to change my attitude and work hard at my current job, this is how I'm viewed by the world.
Understood.
He hesitated for a moment but agreed. It is what it is. The store manager of the main branch is the son of the CEO who runs this supermarket chain. So, he also has the power to choose the transportation company. Aggravated the store manager, and losing a major client could lead to bankruptcy, as we learned from a previous incident. I couldn't expect him to defend me in this situation. I stood there, dumbfounded, for a while. Regaining my composure, I remembered how I was dressed and discreetly left the scene without being noticed. After looking around carefully, I climbed onto my scooter. I had regained enough composure not to want to shatter the dreams of children. Tears flew in the wind as I rode my scooter, the helmet partially covering my ridiculous clown costume. Fitting for my pitiful self, I parked in a nearby park's parking lot and called the office. It seems Mr. Smith had informed them because I could hear the voices of my colleagues rejoicing.
I have an urgent errand and am stepping out. Where the hell are you?
It appears Mr. Johnson had read the hurried note I left behind and asked, puzzled. With my messy face, I couldn't show myself to my coworkers, so I told them I wasn't feeling well and would leave early. To the joyful group, it seemed like a minor incident, and they didn't pry further. When I got home, I changed and went to bed. I realized once again that being a driver might not be the job for me. The next day, not wanting to cause any more trouble for Mr. Smith, who was always kind to me, I decided to quit and went to work with my resignation letter in hand. For some reason, there was a commotion at the company entrance. Not only Mr. Smith and my colleagues, but also the supermarket manager. And, strangely, someone wearing a jacket with the logo of a local cable TV channel. They seemed to be waiting for me, and I was surrounded.
Man, you've become quite the sensation.
Mr. Johnson said, excitedly patting my shoulder. He showed me his phone, and it appeared a customer had uploaded a video of my performance at the supermarket yesterday, and it went viral. The title read, Bored Kid's Savior. The clown who appeared like a hero, which made me feel slightly embarrassed. Sorry for causing trouble. I quickly apologized to the store manager.
No, the store's logo was in the shot too, so it was a great advertisement. Plus, you were keeping the place entertained before our product delivery, right?
Yes, right.
It seems I was wrong about you. Thank you very much.
I was relieved by the unexpected praise from him. Mr. Smith and my colleagues also praised me, and I was happy to have been of help to the company. But how did they find out it was me? I had been in a clown costume with a mask, and I hadn't even spoken to Mr. Smith in that outfit. The staff who handed out balloons didn't seem to react either, so it's hard to believe they recognized me by my voice alone.
We were inquiring about an interview after seeing the buzz on the video sharing platform. So, we asked the store manager if he knew the clown,
said someone who appeared to be from the cable TV crew. Apparently, after I had witnessed the tense conversation between Mr. Smith and the store manager in the storage area, there had been an interview by the cable TV crew. During the interview with the store manager, I happened to be caught on camera in my clown outfit. I had been so stunned by the near-firing incident that I hadn't noticed the TV crew filming. To an average viewer, it would have been a brief, almost unnoticed glimpse, but the shot of me in my goofy clown outfit without the mask had been broadcasted. After receiving a call from the TV crew, the store manager watched the recording and realized the clown was me. He then told Mr. Smith it was your employee who did that.
Thank you. If you hadn't entertained everyone before the product delivery, the lingering negative impression from the event's failure might have jeopardized our chances of renewal. You're a savior to our company.
The warm words from him brought tears to my eyes. At a later date, I was interviewed by cable TV as a street performer. After the broadcast, the TV station was apparently flooded with inquiries, including requests for show appearances and dispatches to events. The cable TV office agreed to manage me on the condition that I also double as the person inside the popular mascot, akin to a local mascot. In essence, it's like I became a contracted performer for them. Being short, playing the role of the person inside was perfect for me. Being a shy person, I find it easier to be myself when wearing a costume or a mask, and it seems I can make people smile that way.
As long as you have offers, give your current job your all. If the work runs out, you can always come back here.
He told me, reassuring me that there's always a place for me to return. Honestly, I feel more suited to this job than being a driver. Determined not to take his kind words for granted, I've resolved to hone my skills and aim for greater heights as a performer.